Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about Biden's speech in Virginia and what was really going on there, because a whole lot of questions have come in. People are very curious about what he was actually trying to get across to people and why he happened to show up in Virginia and what everything has to do with the debt ceiling and a whole lot of stuff, because there's a lot of commentary, but it's very fragmented. Okay, so if you have no idea what I'm talking about, Biden gave a speech in Virginia, and short version of it is Republicans are coming for your health care. I mean, it's not all of it, but that was a key piece of it. Talking about some Republican proposals to go after the Affordable Care Act and Medicaid and stuff like that. Okay, so first part, why is he in Virginia? That earlier video. He's playing the long game. The Democratic Party is playing the long game. The retirements there are going to make Virginia very important. I'll put the video down below for people who didn't watch it. But Virginia is going to be an important state in the near future. And this is him helping the Democratic Party there. When it comes to talking about the Affordable Care Act and Medicaid and all of that stuff, not just are there a whole bunch of people that are being adjusted, the eligibility and all of that stuff, which we talked about recently. I'll put that down below too. In the state of Virginia, roughly a quarter of the people there rely on the Affordable Care Act or Medicaid. So this is an important issue in that state. But that's not really what all of this is about. It's about the debt ceiling. It's about the debt ceiling. So McCarthy wants cuts to new spending tied to the debt ceiling being raised. Biden is okay with cuts to new spending, but he doesn't want it tied to the debt ceiling. Why? Because it creates a false narrative. The debt ceiling is not about new spending. That's about paying the bills on old spending, a lot of which is Republican approved. So raising the debt ceiling, that's something that has to happen. It has to happen for the country to pay its bills. And we've talked about how there may even be like a constitutional obligation for that. But McCarthy wants to tie it to new spending to make it seem as though it was Biden that ran all of this up. It's a political game trying to frame a false narrative. At least that's the way it appears to me. Biden doesn't want that connection made because it's not real. Going after and putting out the idea that Republicans are going to come for health care, the Affordable Care Act, Medicaid, stuff like that, it puts Republicans in a position to where they have to actually say what they want to cut. And so far, they kind of haven't. They've been very, let's just say, evasive when it comes to talking about specifically what they plan to do in the future to cut things. And it will also force the Republicans into a position where they kind of have to admit that they don't really want to do what it would take to establish a balanced budget where there's not a deficit. That deficit will eventually become part of the debt, which has to do with the debt ceiling. They don't want to actually make the cuts necessary to do that, because it's not just cuts. They have to do something else too. Unless they plan to go to a balanced budget, which seems incredibly unlikely, everything that the Republican Party is doing in regards to the debt ceiling is a show for their lesser informed base. That's all it is. Because unless they're going to a balanced budget, zero deficit, zero actual deficit, not just projected, they don't really care about the debt ceiling. It's a show. It's a political game, and that's it. Their options when getting to a balanced budget, I'm sure that there will be people who come up with other ways. But the most likely would be to go after health care or to raise taxes on the rich. Since the Republican Party really probably doesn't have any intention on raising taxes on the wealthy, well, all of this is just a thought. Anyway, y'all have a good day.